Big money is coming from cities and states with stimulus. This is rent stimulus, food stimulus, and also stimulus checks. The rent stimulus is the big whammo. $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, as much as $20,000 have been gotten by viewers of this channel for rent stimulus. When we look at the state stimulus checks, they're a few $100s. They're nothing compared to the big rent stimulus. In this video, I'll be going over how you can get this rent stimulus right now. It's not dependent on Congress. It's not dependent on Ron Johnson. It's not dependent on Bernie Sanders. This is thousands of dollars that you can get right now. It's in states in which you may have looked and you can't find it. Guess what? It's still there. I'm going to explain to you where it is in this video. Then I'll be turning back to Congress and going over hazard pay. Haven't heard that in a while. Why is it not coming out of Congress's mouth? How about EIDL? And is there any other type of stimulus that will be in this package being battled over the weekend besides the stimulus check? How about $2,400 for SSI and SSDI? Where is that? I haven't heard about that from people for a while. What's going on with that item? And then all the other things you'd be wondering about. EIDL, food stimulus, rent stimulus, and the other stimulus for my hands. You know, it's a little bit cut. I have so much breaking news for you this afternoon. I'm so excited you're here. This is an amazing afternoon recording of Purple. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here. You know, this is a day in which we're looking and seeing, well, why Congress can't get anything done. And I warned you, those people just don't get things done. And that's why no less than 2 weeks ago, I think it's about 2 weeks, maybe it's about 2.5 weeks by now, I told you, let's get some state stimulus. This is rent money, free rent money, free utilities money, free food money, and in rare occurrences, a state stimulus check as well. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe, because I'm ensuring that you get money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now. This is big money. This is big money that you should be getting from this channel, and you shouldn't be sitting back and wondering, what are they doing with that thing over the weekend? Ultimately, that thing over the weekend will have some resolution to it, but the big news is that viewers have gotten $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 with states. Are you ready to get some as well? So subscribe to this channel. Also, hit the alert button on the front of this channel so you don't miss a video when I go live. Meantime, like this video. In this video, I'll be going over the state stimulus, rent, the state stimulus utilities, and then the state stimulus checks. Then I'll be turning back to Congress, going over hazard pay, all those wonderful details. And what are the other provisions we're going to get? Including the $2,400 of SSI, making me itch today. The $2,400 of SSI and SSDI. What's going on with that? You know, I have an itch for Mitch, and you have an itch for... You have an interest in money. So where's that money? Let me give me some money. Scratch my hands and give me that money. Let's get to it. Let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that states are really doing God's work because Congress is doing the devil's work today. Ron Johnson, who, you know, he is the doorman at Hades on the weekends, literally said you don't need anything and that, you know, you're lazy and you're just horrible people. So, you know. Then there's the states that are like, you need help. We're going to take care of you. So in this video, I'm going to go over what's going on with those states. Let's get right to it. First, states are paying state rent stimulus. This is free rent. This is free rent for months and months and months. In general cases, it's about 6 months of rent they're paying. And they're paying rent, even if it's your rent is $850 a month, they're paying big sums of money. Where is it and what do you ask for? You go to your city, your county, and your state to find it. The words you use are rent assistance. ASSISTIANCE, assistance. Rent assistance. You don't use other words. You don't add additional words to the sentence. You don't say rent assistance for SSI. You don't say rent COVID. You don't say rent stimulus. You don't add additional words. You make it very simple. Rent assistance. Where is it? You want to look at your city hall, your county housing authority, your state housing authority, and basically any housing authority that's operated by your city or county. This is the really good news. Now, if you've looked there and you can't find it, and you're pretty sure you looked right, and you're like, Ohio does nothing for its people. There's always someone that says that. Ohio does nothing for its people. Okay, I got it. Well, guess what? I'm still going to get you rent there. How? Because there's nonprofits that are paying rent. More about them in a second. After you go through the rent from the local jurisdiction, then you're going to look for utilities. You're going to call up the utility companies and say, hey, do you have any utility assistance for COVID? Do you have any utility assistance for COVID? Again, don't add extra words to it. Don't add a utility assistance for SSI or utility assistance for veterans. Make it very simple. Utility assistance for COVID. And they generally have them. For example, in Missouri, where a state in which there's no rent stimulus except if you're in LA County, except if you're in St. Louis County, they have great they have great utility assistance throughout the state of Missouri. Other states have announced rent stimulus, but a lot of them are starting to close. This is that CARES Act 1 money that I told you is use or lose. They got to use it by about December 15th. Well, today's December 18th. And so it's starting to dissipate, go away. There were rent assistance programs announced for the following locations in recent days: San Diego County, Houston, Nashville, Atlanta, New York State, and it just sort of continued. Gwinnett County, Georgia, DeKalb County, Georgia. Some of those are now closed. County of San Diego closed. Some viewers are saying that Houston may be closed as well. So things are open and then they close. They don't stay open indefinitely. So do we just give up if there's nothing there? No. More about that in a second. You turn to the nonprofits. But then there's also sometimes state stimulus checks. Now, these are the things you should not be focused on as your only path of attention span, because these are often not big enough amount of monies, and that the rent stimulus dwarf these considerably. So state stimulus checks have been or will be or were issued or are coming in Maine, $600, Colorado, $375, New Mexico, $1,200, Oregon, $500, North Carolina, $335, Houston, $1,200, or Orange, Florida did another one on 2 days ago, or actually yesterday, $1,000. Austin did one for $2,000. Jacksonville, $1,000. Orange did another one for $1,200 last month, and another one a few days later. Nome, Alaska has something. Also pending is Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey. Viewers have said New Jersey has a new stimulus package announced a few days. I haven't read through it, but I got the tweets from viewers. Virginia and Delaware. Also pending is Escambia County, Florida, Fort Worth County, Texas, and Gadsden County, Florida. Duval did something in April. So that's there. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm not on that list. And then I looked at my city, county. I can't find anything. So now what? Is there something else for you? Oh, yeah, there is. This is where you back it up. These are the nonprofits. There's a series of nonprofits that are paying rent in cities and counties across the country to viewers of this channel. Who are they? Get a pen and paper. Let's get going. First, United Way. Then Salvation Army. Next, Community Action. Then Catholic Charities, and finally St. Vincent de Paul. Those are ones that are paying rent in a lot of locations. There's also some that are paying utilities. More about those in a second. Rent is also being paid in the following jurisdictions by the following nonprofits. So listen if you hear your state or city. In Texas, it's being paid by, viewers have gotten paid rent by St. Mary Magdalene. In Kentucky, they've gotten paid by Community Ministries. In New Jersey, they got paid by United Way. In Ohio, they got paid by Community Action. In Massachusetts, they got paid by Interfaith Social Services. In Phoenix, they got paid by TCDC. In Alabama, they got paid by calling 211. In Delaware, they got upwards of $10,000. In Fort Broward, Bent County, Texas, they got paid by Catholic Charities. And in Alabama, they got paid by 211. There's more. Get ready for these. Here's your states. In Mississippi, they got paid rent by Mercy House. They got paid rent by Home Saver and also by Salvation Army. They also got paid in Mississippi rent by MSHDA, Eviction Diversion, as well. Really exciting news. I got more states for you. Ready? Let's go. Rhode Island, they got paid by Crossroads. They also got paid by Housing Authority in Rhode Island. Texas, I got some more for you for Texas. First, in El Paso, they got paid directly by Project Bravo. Elsewhere in Texas, they got paid by Catholic Charities, and also they got paid in Texas by 211. In California, they got paid by Catholic Charities in many, many, many different cities. I can't keep track of how many cities Catholic Charities has helped viewers of this channel in California. In Delaware, they got help by calling 211, and in Texas, they got help by calling 211. In Indiana, they also got help by calling 211 for rent. Indiana, they also got help from IndianaHousingNow.org. In Kentucky, they got help with utilities from Community Action. In Pennsylvania, they got help from United Way for rent. In New York, they got paid rent by One Shot. Meantime, in Michigan, they got rent paid by Salvation Army. In Arizona, they got rent and utilities paid by New Leaf. In Nebraska, they got rent paid by United Way. In Georgia, they also got rent paid by United Way. And Georgia is one of the states that has the stimulus for rent from the city and county, but they also found it from United Way. So that shows you the contrast. Also, they got mortgage assistance across the country from 877 Get Hope, which is a part of United Way. And some military service people got assistance from MilitaryOneSource.mil. In City of Dallas, they got rent paid from going to cityofdallas.com. And in Florida, boy, I cannot stop the list of Florida. Broward County, Miami-Dade, Orange, West Palm. They got paid rent by going to the county's websites and getting that rent. Now, not all those are open indefinitely, but they were there for a while. A lot of money. A lot of money. If you go through all this, you do the work. You're good with a computer. You're good with a cell phone. You're good with calling people on the phone. And you go through and you're like, I can't find it. I don't know where it is. I can't find it. Or you're just not good at a computer. You're just not good at it. Then go on the community page. The LLA community page. It's in the pinned comment to this video, and if you're on a computer, in the corner. It's news.llate.com/community. It has a picture of a series of animals at the top, cute little animals, and on there you'll see a series of volunteers. These are people who just are viewers like you. They volunteer their services to help you find this money. They're separated from Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Reach out to them. They're doing about 30 to 60 people assistance cases per day, so be respectful of their time and be very, very kind to them. A couple things to also remind you of the following. These things should be obvious, and I say them routinely, but I'm going to say it again in this video. If someone reaches out to you unsolicited, do not respond to them. If someone reaches out to you unsolicited and says that they are a volunteer, this channel, also do not respond to them. The volunteers are actually listed on the channel on the community page. Meantime, there are people that are online across the internet that are running very bad scam things. You should avoid them. They're generally asking you to communicate by text message using WhatsApp, Bitcoin, or several different type of texting schemes. Avoid those people. Again, you reach out to the volunteers. Don't have someone reach out to you unsolicited. Now, how about the $2,400 of SSI and SSDI? Yeah, let's turn back to Congress. So the $2,400 of SSI and SSDI, that would come to you in January, starting January, $200 a month all the way up to December. Very exciting. It would go on top of your existing benefits, and you would get two other things. You would get one, an increase of up to 20% lifetime. Wow. That would drop on top of your existing benefits. What month that would start? I get that question all the time. I assume it would start about February because they got to get it to bill and then put it to law. And that would be a lifetime step up because they think you're behind, that you haven't got enough overtime. And I agree. Then they would tie you to a new benchmark other than COLA, which is just a hot mess expressed unto itself. And that new benchmark would raise your benefits annually. They would reassess your benefits each year. You know how little your benefits are going up between this year and next year. It's like $1 or something. It's just ridiculous. It's horrible. That's not going to happen anymore. So this is what Biden's promising. What else is Biden promising? Well, he's promising multiple stimulus checks. He's promising hazard pay at $10 an hour, $13 an hour from January of this year to 60 days after the pandemic ends, up to $10,000. I don't see hazard pay happening at $10,000, potentially less, if the Senate remains GOP. Then there's the Lifeline grant, $50,000. Say that with a laugh. Yeah, I don't see that happening with Mitch either if the Senate remains GOP. EIDL, I do see that happening for everyone. There would be 2 rounds of EIDL. First, people who did not get the EIDL the first time around, which is a lot of viewers of this channel, they did not get the EIDL grant. They got it on time. They applied on time, and then the agency ran out of funds. Or they got the measly $1,000 per employee and not the remainder of the $10,000 grant. That would likely be paid first. Then new applicants would get EIDL. What else? Rent stimulus from the federal government would be done. That is where you would get rent close to the time at which the eviction moratorium expires. Because what's the purpose of an eviction moratorium? You still have no rent to pay the landlord at the time of the end of the eviction moratorium. Then food stimulus. I think I've covered it all, haven't I? Hazard pay? Yeah, I've covered it all. Meantime, is there anything in what's happening this weekend that would help you? Well, PPP. I always do have a viewer that says, I want some PPP, so I have to be respectful of that viewer. And someone said, what is PPP? Okay, it's sort of like, what is IG? He keeps on saying, what's IG? What's PPP? What are these words he's saying? IG is Instagram. I simulcast the live shows on Instagram. PPP it turns into a free program. It starts as a loan, but turns into a grant, free stimulus, but it's for a business. So you would have had to have that business at the time in which the pandemic hit, and they do PPPs for independent contractors. That'll be probably a whole nother series on this channel if these people get this act together over the weekend. Applying for PPP has not been a video I've done since April. I did a lot of PPP videos back in the day. I can't imagine how many videos I did about PPP, but I haven't done it in ages because it's been closed. So yeah, you could do PPP. Other than that, there's nothing really for you in what's happening this weekend, unless there's a surprise. And the surprise is join me next on Being a Mitch, which will be live coming right back up after this recording. As always, stay informed, stay smiling. Subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Also like this video. Stay informed, stay focused, and keep on smiling. See you in a bit.